With our wedding almost upon us, this week our stonemasons literally put the final steps on the Chateau Bridge. And we put the finishing touches on the powder and dressing rooms, which are now ready for the arrival of an important guest. Purnon's bridge spans the chateau's dry moat and was crumbling and decaying when we arrived. For the last month, our talented team of stonemasons have been working to complete the restoration of the bridge in time for our wedding. This week, the bridge is transformed as the restoration of the steps comes to a completion.
Well, this week the progress in the restoration of the Chateau Bridge has been immense because we have steps again. These steps were completely removed to be restored. All the existing granite was cleaned and saved and reused here. The only replacement stone was actually the bottom stone here, and it just looks amazing. And you saw that when our stonemasons removed the granite steps, all that was shaping the steps was earth, and so these steps now have a solid foundation and will last for centuries to come, no doubt, and just such a beautiful entrance to the southern side of the chateau.
Due to the advanced state of deterioration of the bridge, its side walls were exposed stone. But Purnon's architect in the 18th century covered these stones with a render to harmonise the bridge with the chateau. No one alive today has seen the bridge with its intended render, until this week.
Du coup, on arrive enfin à la finition projetée balai. Donc en fait, c'est une finition qu'ils utilisaient avant vraiment pour protéger les maçonneries au niveau des sous-bassements, contrairement à la partie haute où du coup c'était vraiment de l'esthétique. Donc après, la particularité de cet enduit-là, c'est qu'en fait il est vraiment projeté au balai. Donc après, nous aujourd'hui on fait ça avec des brosses, hein. Mais à l'époque c'était vraiment au balai. Donc en fait la méthode pour pouvoir la mise en place, c'est on vient charger une première couche de mortier sur notre mur, là, comme ça, pour vraiment boucher tous les petits trous qu'il pourrait y avoir au moment où on lancerait notre mortier au balai. Là, c'est vraiment histoire de créer une charge de manière à ce qu'en fait il donne un peu cet effet baveux qu'on peut voir Là, on a l'impression que ça coule un peu. Donc une fois qu'on a procédé, on va dire au remplissage, donc après en fait on vient tout simplement avec notre brosse, on vient incorporer du mortier dans notre brosse, en fait, comme là. Et après en fait on vient à le jeter dessus. Donc ça dépasse, donc après forcément on aura un nettoyage à faire après coup. Et ça sert aussi du coup à vraiment à marquer une différence entre le bâti haut du château qui est esthétique et la partie sous-bassement qui était vraiment la base de la structure. Et donc du coup qu'il fallait qu'elle soit massive. Et donc voilà, une fois qu'on a projeté notre mortier au balai, en fait on vient nettoyer le surplus de mortier qui pouvait y avoir sur les pierres. Comme ça. Et quand on a un peu trop de mortier là, en fait, on vient à le retirer. Et après, on réitère la même méthode, mais vraiment sur la zone concernée. Et donc du coup, après coup, une fois que cette partie-là de finition est faite, donc en gros, on a vraiment atteint la finition idéale. Nous, on vient nettoyer donc avec une petite éponge le tour des pierres pour éviter que ça reste taché orange comme ça. Et voilà.
So we are getting so close to finishing this room. It's definitely going to happen this week. We are down to the final touches. Well, excluding some fix-ups that I still got to do. So this is my brother Tobias, who's here for the wedding.
Bonjour.
And so Tobes, I wanted to hang 3 hooks up. I've got one on the back of the door, and then I thought because there's no wardrobe here, it would be nice to have 2 on this wall and have them all in line. Cool. I'm going to leave you to it.
Right on.
See you when it's done. Ciao.
Ciao.
So what a change. This stunning space is now a lovely space for my future mother-in-law to get ready for our wedding. So this is definitely a room that has been restored with a huge amount of love for a moment in our lives that is all about love. And so let's have a look at all the beautiful products that we use. So first, let's talk about this stunning wallpaper. This wallpaper is part of the Purnon Papers collection, a wallpaper collection that we have done with Farrow and Ball. There are 5 wallpapers in the collection, and they are all wallpapers that were discovered here at the chateau. And this paper, Auguste, is actually still in situ on the 2nd floor, and it really gives the room so much elegance. I think that it is just absolutely beautiful. And it is also a nod to the original wallpaper that was discovered in this room. We found a very small trace of the original wallpaper under multiple layers of more recent wallpaper, and it was a floral. And so I feel like reintroducing a floral back into this space is absolutely the right thing to do. The paint color that we have used on the wood paneling is a Farrow and Ball paint. The color is lamp room gray, and we have used the dead flat finish, which is a lovely chalky matte finish. Now this color is part of the color palette that we are using across the entire 1st floor in the rooms that we are working on here, and it is the original 18th century color palette to this floor of the chateau. And so when we were working on the wooden paneling here, actually we could perfectly match this color, and so it is lovely to see this room back to its original color again. And it's so much of a lighter, brighter space than it was when we first discovered it, when it was really quite dingy and disgusting. And so that brings us to all the other finishings we've used in this room. The hooks that we have used here are from Corston, but the thing that I absolutely love that we have used from Corston, and is my absolute new obsession, and I can see us using this a lot around the chateau, is this here. So these power sockets have a transparent plate on them, which means that you can see the wallpaper through the back, and it has such a low impact on the space and allows the wallpaper to really just stay as the hero of the room. Also from Corston are the beautiful Brookfield pendant lights. We have used these before. I absolutely love them. I love that they hang so low in this space that has such high ceilings, and the hand-blown fluted glass is absolutely stunning. What else have we done in here? We have put in a radiator so that this room will be usable in the cold winter months. This is from Hudson Reed. It is a retro radiator. We've used it actually in another ensuite up here some time ago, and we absolutely love the look and feel of these radiators in these spaces. And this one I particularly love because it actually has a protruding towel rail, so it's very practical and really looks beautiful in the space. We've also used the Hudson Reed retro style hand towel holder, toilet roll holder, and toilet brush holder. In terms of the vanity, this is a reused vanity that was here at the chateau in this really horrible bathroom when we first arrived. The taps were long gone, and so we have replaced those old taps with the Elizabeth Tapware from Hudson Reed, and I really love how it's got the white porcelain with the silver, and I think that that's a perfect complement to the style of this basin, which would have been installed when plumbing was first installed in the chateau, and they would have had running water inside for the very first time. What else have we used here? Of course, the most luxurious towels and dressing gown. Only the best will do for my future mother-in-law, and this is from Yves Delorme. We absolutely love the quality of Yves Delorme products. There is nothing more luxurious than being wrapped in a beautiful Yves Delorme gown and their towels. And so if you have not experienced the luxury of using Yves Delorme towels or dressing gowns, I highly recommend that you do. The dressing table, this is a Louis XV epoch dressing table. It was made by a celebrated ebonist who worked for the court of Louis XV. And it is a really beautiful piece, and I think for sitting here and doing your makeup before going to the wedding is going to be a really lovely place for Tim's mother to do that. And so there you have it, completed just in time for the wedding, but I really could not be happier with the result. It's really such a joy to see these dark, dingy spaces that you would not want to go into become spaces that are really beautiful and that we're particularly proud of. And slowly, room by room, the chateau is starting to be reawakened.
Well, here we are, back on the bridge, back on the stairs, and isn't it amazing to see them back in place? We get lots and lots of questions about these two statues on each side of the end of the bridge. They are lions, they're not sphinxes. They're lions, they match the elements on the coats of arms of the couple that built the chateau at the end of the 18th century, Monsieur Achard de la Haye and Madame de la Motte Barrasset. They have been treated and cleaned as part of an earlier documentation process, but they won't be further addressed until a future phase of works. But everything else on the bridge either has been restored or is being restored, and really it's just the pavers and the light fixtures to go, and then we're finished. What an amazing transformation it's been.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, isn't it? And so also this week a lot of progress was made with the finishing render on the basement of the chateau, and Matteo, our head stonemason, gave an exceptional explanation about that. And for us that's been a really interesting process, because the render on the facades was so deteriorated when we arrived. We had no idea that there were two different treatments, and it's really interesting now to see the fine finishing treatment of the top part of the chateau, or the chateau itself, and then that more rough, rugged treatment in the basement section of the chateau, the foundations of the chateau.
Yeah, it is really, really interesting, and we love discovering new things about our home, and it seems at the moment every week something new is being explained to us, or we're learning and discovering something new about our extraordinary home. And one of the things that we love about our home here at Château de Purnon is our chapel. It was one of the things that we fell in love with when we saw Purnon for the first time. And this week, for the first time, we thoroughly cleaned the chapel in anticipation of our wedding. And that chapel is such a special place for us, and cleaning it this week in preparation for our wedding was such a special moment for us that we've devoted a separate video just to the journey of cleaning and preparing that chapel for our upcoming wedding. There is a link in the description below. Click on that, please have a look at the transformation of Purnon's chapel.
And this week, while we were working in the chapel, Tim filmed this week's exclusive Patreon and YouTube members video, where he takes a closer look at some of the features of the chapel, some features that we really love. And so if you're interested in having a closer look at the chapel, do check that out. Otherwise, if you would like to follow the restoration of Château de Purnon more closely, we post an exclusive weekly video for our Patreon and YouTube members. We post frequent updates on Instagram, or just hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and we'll keep you updated here.